Alrighty, Doc here from North America. It is Monday. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Hello, traders. I agree. Hello, Robin. So, where are we at? Oh, okay. I can see it there. The dollar index. It looks lower. It's getting down to, I guess you could say, equilibrium. Down to, that's Friday. Okay, so they haven't really updated the little beastie yet. Interesting. All right, so maybe if I can change the parameter, it'll give us a idea where they have their. Okay, that's why. And let's try it that way. There we go. Let's see what they got going on there. There we go. Okay, so the dollar index on Friday got down to par 48, basically. 100.485 to be exact. Today it went down to 425, and coming up a little bit, it's at the 7. But we've been in that daily sell here from that action right there, and so it's not the most surprising situation. Let's skip that. There we are. Now let's just double check the let's see. Right, there we go. Just double check the sound. We got the sound. We're good there. All right, yeah, so really what it comes down to is the dollar index trying to make a little bounce up. It's very clear. We anticipated Mr. Powell's conversation of Friday, and I think we discussed it on Thursday, or we did it definitely on Friday for sure. And that is that he's going to cut rates. Question is it a quarter point or half a point? And they will be watching the stats like the GDP on Friday and so forth. And I'd imagine they will be pushing, just as we've seen them change the 8. Let's put it this way. This administration and the Bureau of Labor Statistics is a toy for them, okay? And they will manipulate them as best as they can when they can. And so, do you really think independently they decided to come out and say, oh, guess what? 818 adjustment. 818,000, almost a million adjustment. That's the rumor started flying around somewhere around Tuesday, Wednesday, and before you know it, or Monday, Tuesday, and then before you know it, it was out in the street, and it was, it actually occurred. In other words, it was clarified, and sure enough, it happened. Did they want it to happen? I say they did. Because what is the first thing Mr. Biden has said all along? That's the retired president that we have at this point. And what he said was they're cutting the rates. He's been saying it since last November, 10 months ago, basically. Let's see, September to November. Yeah, so we're talking about 9 months and 3 weeks ago they've been saying it. So, that's where they are at. They want an interest rate cut so they can campaign on an interest rate cut. That's all they want to say. They want to tell you how well everything's working. At the same time, they want to tell us at the same time that Mrs. Harris, or Miss Harris, that is going to fix everything, and then they kind of pretend that they weren't the ones that broke it. And Miss Harris, who's had more votes as a vice president than any vice president in history, 33 votes as the vice president in the Senate. As the vice president, not the senator when she was a senator, as the vice president, have voted for all these bad policies and made it so they could happen. But they're trying to make us all forget. It's really funny. We do numbers here. More than anything else, a lot of people think, oh my God, it's his opinion. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. It's a number. It's a number that's documented. It's immortalized. It's there. Now, you can pretend that you don't want to understand it or recognize it. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. I really believe in freedom. So if you don't like what I'm saying, fine. Believe something else. I'm not complaining about that. God bless you. But, she has voted 33 times in the last 3.5 years to create these policies. Personally, she's voted for them. So it's her policies. And they're taking us down the wrong path of economics. And that's just the way it goes. And that's normal. I mean, that's not exactly far-fetched. People make bad decisions, and that's life. But when it comes down to the reality of it all, the math, If they wanted that 818,000 to be hidden, chances are probably about 7 out of 10 that it would have never come out. They want that so that they can drop the rates. And the last I'm going to leave you with on the stat stuff of the politics is no more than 4 weeks ago she was polled in the 38s, and out of nowhere now she's polled in the 49s or 48s. She gained 11 points for somebody who's wrecked the economy. So, when I say if they want this data out, more than likely it gets out. If they don't want this data out, more than likely it doesn't get out. Is it perfect? No. So, will they cut a half a percentage point? Good chance that they could, especially with the data coming out. Everybody's staring at it this Friday, the GDP. We know that if the GDP comes out and looks worse even more than the 818,000 circumstance that we've just run across, well then, there's a good chance that they'll lower a half. Most people will agree because the economy is going into recession, and from there, that will be something they can campaign on, that they got this done. And when you, like I said, she has a statistic that 38% of the population don't want her involved in the presidential race. Now, all of a sudden, now she is in the presidential race. It's 48 or 49%. So they have great, let's put it this way, they have great influence. I'll talk like a hedge fund. They have great influence on what data is released. And I think that's the way they would say it in the hedge fund universe. This way you sound like you care. You're a good person at heart. And it's not personal. And that's exactly the world we live in sometimes, where they like to pretend that specific statement I just made. Oh, it's not personal. It's just numbers. Exactly. So anyway, you look at the dollar index there that we have on the screen, and you can see, well, it's moving up a little bit, but it's getting down to where I call fair value. Fair value on the dollar is basically 100.00. And then when it drops underneath it, it's undervalued. When it goes above it, it's overvalued. And that's pretty much about it. I mean, it's not that complicated. Unfortunately, we hear many conversations about, the fair value of this or the fair value of that. And, and I've always, I use my math to declare when is their fair value. And obviously, the math has said way back at 105 that it was overvalued right there. And it went into the weekly sell. And what has it done since it went into the weekly sell? It has found a way to go lower more times than higher. And here it is now, down at basically par versus 105 or 104.75 or how you want to look at it. And that's basically the way I look at it. This is a little bit longer term, week to week, looking out. These right here in the center is the daily, looking day to day. And you can see here what it's been telling us on a day-to-day basis is that it's going to go down in value. And each day it has found ways to go up and down and then lower than before. And then before you know it, you can see it marches its way down. And before you know it, it's even lower than when it was when it went into the daily sell. Now, is it a perfect system? No. It is, was it 85.6? So basically, it's almost 86 times right out of 100. Not bad. Or you could divide that by 2 and say it's 43 times right out of 50. Not bad. You can break it down again if you want. In other words, it's 22 times right out of, 3 or 4. Take your choice. So that's not bad. In other words, basically something like 20 out of 25 trades, 23 are going to be, or 22 and a half are going to be winners, or 22 are going to be winners, and 3 are going to be losses. And then it comes down to the vehicle of how you trade, what you trade. In other words, the mechanics. Are you using binary options? Are you using options in your own way in your own spread versus a binary system? A binary system is basically a bull spread or a bear spread. and options. So it's pretty much the same thing. But I try to make things sound much more hedge fund like. So very friendly, very simple, and very precise. But with a big giant innuendo. In other words, sounding very friendly. And so there are binary options or binary strategies, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, or there's bull spreads and bear spreads. And when you say bull spreads, that probably scares somebody half to death. Or a bear spread and a bull spread, or a bull spread and a bear spread scares both of them. So, they say binary. Binary sounds, that's two instead of an animal. So, I don't know. You tell me. Where are we at this point? You know what I want to do? I want to take a look at it on the beta. Let me see what it looks like on the beta this morning. Let's see on dollar index and see what it looks like there. See if there's any other insight, and that's what that's all about, really, in the end. All right, so it's just showing us the 23rd. It's not showing us more, but it's got the same thing going on. When we spin over to our new beta platform, it's identical to the one up top. You see it's been moving down for weeks upon weeks. Let's see if I change that dimension and I go to the chart size smaller. I think it shows all three of them. Like that. There it is. So you can see all three. So it's been going down since up in here. It's been going lower more than it's been going higher. Same story. And I guess if we, try to, we're going to get this straightened out too. I think, is it go that way? Or is it this way? I guess it's this way. So you can see here, it's same thing with the daily. It goes into the sell there, and you got your downward leap pressure. I guess we need to go the other way, right? Let's see. There it is. So it's been going down, what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. What's the spreadsheet say? Where's the spreadsheet? There's a spreadsheet. Dollar index, it's saying that it went into the buy a couple days ago and is, where is it at? It's back into a daily sell for 3 days. So that's interesting. Now, why was it doing that? Oh, I see why. On the main platform. Look at the main platform here. What happened was we had a red and a green there. So that screws up that number altogether because really it's been in a sell since here and it hasn't really gone into the buy. So 3, 6, 9, 10. So that should be a 10, not a 3. And again, I don't trade this product particular, but I should pay attention to it since we're putting it. Well, actually, we don't even have any clients paying attention to it. I just have a natural tendency to go to it instantly because people go, "Oh, what is the dollar index doing?" And I go, "Oh, it's in a buy or sell or something like that." But I don't really pay attention to it that much. I more gravitate towards these right here. And that let me just save that too. File, save. I gravitate towards these right here. In other words, I look at the British pound, they're up to date. The euro, up to date, and we can take a look at them too. They've fluctuated in and out of their situation also at the same time. Let's go over to them like that. Right there. So you can see the euro. The euro has been in a buy for what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, going on 11th day, even with it down. So in other words, it's been in the buy since right here, right there. And what do we have on the screen there? Why does that say 3? The DB is 3. How can that be a 3? I don't know. It's the platform is telling us it's not. It's telling us it's 10 days, the same way. I don't know what's up with some of these numbers sometimes. I guess it's because we have nobody following these things, so I just throw the numbers in and don't really look. Now, Giannis looks at the stocks, so I'm paying attention to the stocks. And no one's really looking at the currencies, which is really odd because this is a currency market. This webinar is a currency market, and I go on put it on the screen. So maybe the last spreadsheet might have had it, and that just picked up something wrong, and I didn't look at it that closely. The same thing here. Now I could have sworn. Oh, that's right. It went into that long sell on the cable. You can see the same situation. There's 3, there's 6, there's 8, there's 9, there's 10. So it's just been climbing up, and that has that same thing. I'll have to check the spreadsheet. Go back 2 days ago and see if it says 8 on it. Who knows? I might have hit a 3 instead of an 8. Anything's possible with that. Let's see. Robin says, have a market you're interested in? Tell Doc. He will give you his analysis. Just ask. Yeah, exactly. After showing you 3 mistakes on the spreadsheet. That's why Yano says I should have the spreadsheet up there all the time, and that's why we do now. We have the spreadsheet up there all the time, just to make sure. I send that spreadsheet out to people for free, and usually it's up to date. Seems to be up to date most of the time, but I think today we're going to go through a lot of that and see some odd anomalies, and then I'll have to go back to Friday and see if they were the same, and see if it was where I made the mistake on Friday or Thursday or something like that. Probably Friday, since it was Friday. All right, so there's the cable. Cable's doing the same thing, except for it finally busted through that weekly buy last week. It went into that weekly sell for a couple of weeks here. It was during the this long slide down that was in a sell there. That there was going to be a civil war in Britain, and it seems like they're on that path still. Not just Britain, but everybody in general over there in Europe and England. What you think can get you arrested. How about that, huh? That's the strangest thing around. In America, we're not comfortable with that. That's why Mr. I guess it was Friday, Mr. Kennedy, stopped his campaign for president and supported Donald Trump because he said exactly those words. He said that the Democrats now are the thought police, and they will lock you up for anything they disagree with. And they call it here lawfare. So it's like a type of war, lawfare. So, and they're doing it, and that was why the GBP seemed to fall. And then they locked up those mommy and daddies who were complaining about the crime in their children's schools. They actually locked up a father because he posted something. No, he didn't punch somebody. He posted it on the internet. And because he posted it on the internet, a judge actually locked him up for 8 months. That's astonishing. And now I believe, is it Telegram? The chairman of Telegram has been locked up or taken hostage or something like that by the European community. Maybe in France. I guess it's in France. And because they're blaming him for what is posted on his website by the public. So that's why Mr. Kennedy left the Democrat Party, is that unfortunately he says it's not his father or his uncle's party anymore. We've been saying that for decades, and now it's getting to a point where people are starting to really see it. So anyhow, in a world of statistics and numbers, here we are always dealing with that battle every day, trying to be accurate and retain these things. Obviously, I just showed you on the British pound and the euro. I had the numbers in wrong. It'd be interesting to see what the euro says, euro GBP. That'll tip me off. If that's wrong, then I know I've got the wrong spreadsheet altogether. And it does it say the right date? Maybe I have the wrong date there. Maybe that's like 426. Yeah, today's the 426. No, wait a minute. April? No wonder it's not making any sense. April 26th? No wonder it doesn't make any sense. Let's get rid of that. Discard. Let's go find Friday's spreadsheet. Oh my God. There it is right there. I'm looking at it right there. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's better now. Okay. It's 11 and 10. That's what it is. Okay, so how did I put that up on there? Let's see what we can do about getting that over there. Oh, God. There's always something. It was an April spreadsheet we were looking at. No wonder it was wrong. All right, let's see. How do I get there? You know what? I guess I could put it up over here. Let's put it up over here. I wonder if I can move it over there. Let's see. How do we do this? All right, we're getting there. Hold on a second, traders. We'll get the right spreadsheet up on the screen. 420. Oh, God, an April spreadsheet. No wonder the numbers are wrong. At least I'm willing to show you wrong numbers. That's good. And find out why I'm showing you wrong numbers. And accepting the blame or the success of it. All right, now, where am I at? If I minimize the beta, and I go like that, that has the 23rd on there. I thought I had the 26th on there. Hold on a second. Because I sent it out. We'll find it in a second. Let's see. Sent. Oh, it's down there probably by now. No. Where's the sent? I sent it out last night. There it is. View. Maybe I don't want view. Maybe I want download. What am I downloading? Okay. Attachments. There it is. Let's do this. Download that. There we go. That's better. All right. Now, let's minimize that. And let's see if I can move that download over to the that computer. Let's see. Where is it at? Let me see. Let me do this. What am I doing? If I go like that, take that, move that over to there. I think I figured out how to do it. Okay, here we go. Open it up like that. Open that up. Open that up. Open that up. And then go to the sense. That. Attachments. There. Download. And then let's see what that looks like. And let me view it too. Make sure I'm downloading the right thing, or did I send out April 26th? Come on, cut me a break. View. Yeah, I sent out April 26th. Okay, that's the problem. All right, now let's go over somewhere else. Let's see. Trash. Let's go to my trash. And that's what I did. I sent April 26th out. I'll have to send everybody. Surprised Janos is not texting me and saying, "What's wrong with your spreadsheet?" Trash. What's wrong with your spreadsheet? 823, 825. Why don't I not see it? Is it in drafts? No. All right, let's try this. Here we go. Hang on, traders. We'll get this all fixed in a second. There we go. Open that up. April. Can you imagine that? I sent out April. Nobody's... No. See, that's why I send it out for free. No one seems to be paying attention to it anyway. It's amazing. No one is texting me and saying, I sent it to like 45, 50 people, and not one person is sending me a text. Usually Janos does. He pays attention to it. But even Janos today is not even telling me that it's wrong. All right. Let's see. There we go. Compose. Attach. Try it one more time. Attach. Hello. There we go. Augie 26th. Right there. Open. Alright. Here we go. I'm going to send it over there. Oh, no subject. Okay, let's do this. Add subject. Fix. Spread sheet. Alright. Send. Alrighty. Let's see how that goes. now let's go over to there and look at the sense. No, it's in inbox. Go to the inbox. And download. There it is. There you go. That makes more sense. We'll know in a second. There it is. Yeah. So the GBP's been in 11 days now in a daily buy, and the euro is 10 days in a daily buy. That makes more sense. Now, brown cow. Let's get rid of that, and we're back in the saddle again. All right, now we're all okay. All right, click here for more information. I don't want more information. All right, so that's better. That's the way it should be, and it is. You can see up at the top. It is August 26th, not April 26th. That's what it comes down to. Now, let me go send that out to everybody I send it to for free. And I will count up how many people get it, too. That'll be interesting. Let's see. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah, in the inbox. Inbox. Download spreadsheet. Let's see. Download it. There we go. Perfect. And then go to cents. 25. Let's see. Reply to all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 39 people get it. That's what it comes down to. And then we'll do this. Download. And there it goes. All right. And spreadsheet fix. Yeah. Cool. All taken care of. So many numbers. Alrighty, back in the saddle. Let's get back to that. And where's Janos to keep me track, huh? Alrighty. There it is. The spreadsheet's fixed. I'm fixed. Life's fixed. Alright, now we're looking at that. And then let's go back to the beta. There it is right there. That's better. Alright, so from there, let's go over to the Swiss. Where is it at? Let's go take a look at the Swiss. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's look at, for interest's sake, let's look at the Euro GBP. You can see on a spreadsheet, 4 weeks in a buy, 2 days in a sell, showing that the cable's trying to outperform it, which it is. But the weekly, we're in a weekly buy, so it's kind of a little tough to pay attention to more than that. But if you have a position on, then it's all right. And so then we go over to it just for the fun of it this morning. Let's see how the weekly's acting today. Euro GBP, where are you? Right there. Very close. It's trying to break down, but still in that buy. But you can see it's been in that daily sell for that long glide. What is that all about? Oh, okay, that's what happened there. So it went into the daily buy for 2 days right there, and then back into the sell again right there. Let's put a red line in there for the fun of it, since we've been looking at this lately more than usual. A lot of people here don't really ask about currencies much anymore. That's really the interesting point. Dukascopy is obviously becoming more influential, or being a broker in all of it, stocks and bonds and futures and currencies. When I first started, there was currency questions all the time. I must have had 20. You used to have a live chart of our intraday trading of the euro. It was that aggressive. People cared. They watched. It changes. Then quantitative easing happened, and as time went on, currencies lost about 50% of their volume, and people have moved away from it. Because fundamentals. Janos put out some webinars explaining that fundamentals don't seem to work more than 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's gone. That's it. It used to be a fundamental data point would influence a market for 2 or 3 days. Now it seems to influence it 2 or 3 minutes, if that much, which is amazing. So we're in a very different trading era, and we can feel it. We can see it. A lot of people have moved away from trading in general because they're concerned. They're concerned that it's the I guess you could say the momentum characteristic has really shifted. So information. This is Bitcoin up. Oh, look at Bitcoin over the weekend got up to about $6,400. Interesting. So cryptos had been a main theme here. We talked about cryptos a lot. We were very bullish on the cryptos in the very beginning, and it seems to have been correct. It's a tool to move away from these crazies in the central banks, which are run by the politicians. That's really what it comes down to. That's why they want digital currency. You can see you see what happened in Canada, where they turned people's bank accounts off because they had digital currency in their accounts, and gave the government the power when they didn't like what they said or what they were doing or who they were associating with. They literally closed their accounts and froze them. Didn't close the accounts, they froze the accounts so you couldn't access your own money. And so we're at a point here where I guess you could say in many ways, I didn't think about it coming in here this morning. It wasn't like I tried to put up April 26th instead of August 26th, but maybe an angel on my shoulder was pushing me and saying, hey, you know what you really need to have today is a conversation about free speech and free markets. And I think I used that title no more than, let me just go back and look, but I used that title a couple days back on the webinars. I'm almost dead sure of it. Let me go back to the webinars and take a look at the last bunch of webinars. But I think that was the upcoming live stream, how to read charts, cheap money feed markets, euro and cable lead the way, free markets, free people. That was on the 20th. So I guess we could actually emphasize the influence of the central banks versus, it's really central banks versus free speech. That's exactly what it is. And in the example, we're very empirical here. We follow facts, real data that you look at our work 10 weeks from now or 10 months from now or even 10 years from now, and it's basically still the same. In other words, it doesn't change. It's, in other words, once it's done it, it's done it. It's cemented. That's why I sat there and was willing to be honest and said, wow, my spreadsheet's all screwed up. I could have basically just dropped the spreadsheet off and not talked about it. I could have faked it. I don't do that here. We do free speech and central banks against free speech, basically, or central banks and government versus free speech. Let's see, we can do that. That's going to be the title today because it's the truth. That's exactly it. Title. Let's see. Government and banks versus free speech. That's it. That's going to be the title. That's it right there, and that's totally legit. And I started that. I don't know. I was mumbling that somewhere on the 20th, which is Tuesday of last week. So obviously something was kicking up last week and making me crazy about it. Yeah, that is the amazing thing. Matter of fact, he's on. Robert Kennedy Jr. is on the TV right now. On one of the financial channels, and he's talking about I was blocked out, had no path to victory. So he's supporting Trump because they're doing the same lawfare against Trump. This is very interesting, and you got to wonder, in other words, traders. Janos brought this up years ago now, and he made videos on it, and I wish we can have them around. I think it's on one of my computers somewhere. I have dozens of computers around here, and I know I saved them somewhere. I downloaded them. I used to play them. I used to say, "This is brilliant." This is what it. This is right. The markets are influenced from quantitative easing to a point where it makes it hard for people to trade. All they want is prices to be up. They don't want to see a down day. They want to be able to tell the public, "See, vote for us. We're always right. We're going to fix everything." And that's really what it comes down to. The media complex they're talking about now. Yeah, that's what it does, and then that's where we are now. So in other words, I follow the numbers. Our math picks up on what the government's trying to do, and so when they influence the markets, our math picks it up beforehand, and that's pretty much the example of it all. And that's what we do here. All right. Anyhow, where are we at now? So we saw the Euro GBP. Let's march over to the big inflation fighters. Let's check out the Swiss this morning. On the spreadsheet, you can see that line 43. It is right there. 13 weeks in a cell, 5 days in a cell. It'll match up. It won't be screwed up like watching April 26th. Isn't that funny? And no, I send out April, I guess it's the weekend, so people didn't pay attention. I don't know. Beats the daylights out of me how I'm not hearing from anybody. I guess that's why it's free. See, right there. And there's the Swiss. You can see the Swiss is moving down. It went into the daily sell up in here. Still moving down. And you can see it went into the weekly sell back up in here in the 91-ish area, 92-ish area. And where are we at now? The 84-ish area, 85 area. So, it's doing its thing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Our math is keeping us in the trend, in the momentum. That's what it's all about. And it's magic to me every day. Honestly, it's math magic every day to me in a good way. I love it. It picks up on things. What I claim, this is what I claim. Now you can really get nervous. And what I claim is it's part of the fifth element. It's basically what what are the two guys with the S and S? That they were looking for ether. Scholes and no, that's option guys. Let me go look at the. Let me just go find it, so I can at least finish off my crazy. Ether. Physics. What? Proof. That'll do it. Mickelson and Morley, not SNS. M&M. Mickelson and Morley. Interferometer worked for splitting a single beam of light into two. The two beams bounce off mirrors and arrive at a detector. And so they were trying to prove it was in 1887. It seems like they threw it all away too, which is the amazing thing. No one seems to care. That's the odd part out of it all. No one cares. We know in physics that we see a surface. Yeah, I went there this morning. Cool. Okay. All right. In a hour. There we go. All righty. So, that's the end of that story. Let's leave physics and let's go back to Swiss. And our physics is on the page. That's what those two indicators are. They're physics indicators. All right, let's take a look at the yen. The yen finding a way to still drifting down. In other words, it's gaining against the dollar. And it's been in a weekly sell since the unwind of the $20 trillion. I'm one of the only people that talked about the $20 trillion pair trade or swap that they had on in Japan for decades. So they started unwinding that as they got in trouble and the currency started to, explode. I guess you could say if you were from Turkey, the currency was firm. To every other normal trader and country, well, not every country, but let's put it this way: in the industrialized nations, a move from 1.0 to 1.62 is an explosion. That's over a 50% move. And when it comes to the Turkish lira, of course, let's go over to the great experiment. There's the great experiment right there. And it's doing it again. It's at record highs today. It was at record close for a while. It's starting to move down a little bit. It's playing with the 30. Let's see what the high now is. 38.44. Unfortunately, we're afraid that this thing is going to find its way to the 42 area. Maybe, 41.75 to 42.75 area. We're really saddened, as usual. We were hoping the poor thing would lock itself into this box. And then, obviously, the policies have changed again. Back to what they've been doing for like the last 10 years. And this product has gone from 1 to 38. 1.00. The yen, they went into panic mode when it went from 1.00 to 1.62. This thing's gone from 1.00 to 38.00. Wow. I'm getting a little loud on that, just so I'm hitting home on what they've done to that poor currency over there. And whatever experiment they're doing, stop it. It's obviously the wrong direction. But can anybody get that through anybody's head over there? I kind of doubt it. So when your currency goes from 1.0 to 1.62, in a industrialized nation, which Turkey is an industrialized nation and part of NATO, you would think that someone would wake up over there when it got to 1.00 to 3.00. They would have straightened out their act. The Japanese figured out how to do it when it got to 1.00 to 1.62. They found a way. They went to the Federal Reserve in the United States and said, we need to unwind this $20 trillion swap trade we have on, swap pairs trade on. We need to unwind it and help us. And obviously they did. And you can see the currency goes from, let's go back to the yen, because we're going to use the two as an example of good policy versus bad policy. And so you can see, no, that's the same one again. And right there we go. And so you can see here they were up in the 1.62 area, or 1.6158. Didn't even touch that. They said, okay, we surrender. We give up. And they started unwinding the swap. The Federal Reserve helped them. They probably lent them trillions of dollars or billions of dollars or whatever it is. And sure enough, it's all straightened out. And obviously the currency goes from, let's put it this way. Wouldn't the Turkish people be happy if their currency went from, in this case here, the Japanese people saw their currency go from 1.6, I'm rounding it out to 1.62, down to 1.42. We'll round it out that way, okay? So it dropped, I don't know, what's that, a 20% drop? So what's a 20% drop when your currency's going from 1 to 38? A 20% drop would be down to 29 this morning. Wouldn't it be nice if the Turkish lira was hanging out in the 32 area or 31 area or 29 area versus 38 with a look like it wants to go to 42. You know, all we're talking is basic mathematics here, guys and gals. We're talking about real numbers all the time here, and how our math picks up on it before it happens. It does that almost 9 out of 10 times basically. It's a little under that stat. It's 8.6 out of 10. So when trading the right tools, or let's say this, the right type of delta, in other words, if you're using binaries or option spreads, obviously it's a much more profitable thing than being naked long the delta or naked short that delta, All right, and if anybody cares what that means, naked long versus naked short the delta, you're welcome to ask, and I'll gladly explain it. All right, from there we go over to the South African Rand. There it is. And it's still trying to do its best to go down, which is nice. And it does have that 33% haircut as far as I'm concerned, using the relationship between gold and the South African Rand for many decades. It is about 33% overvalued. Or is that undervalued? Let's put it this way. It should be at 12. So it's undervalued. Is it undervalued? Yeah. So 18 is undervalued. And then, 12 would be better for the people in South Africa. In other words, 12 of those things would buy $1, not 18 of them. So they have that same inflation thing going on just like Turkey. Now that the ANC has been removed as the main government, it is just the majority government. And the other two, the Zulu political party and the old South African conservatives, are now partners with the ANC. You can see the currency is doing better. And so that's a good thing, of course, for the population overall. And, policies, government and policies have a great influence. Ever since quantitative easing, enormous influence. It used to be that, government was hidden to the side when it came to the markets. Unfortunately, now government is the buyer of last resort. It's the only way to describe it best is at one time, government was not the buyer of last resort. It was a hidden factor, and it was the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve was involved more like every couple of weeks or months. Now the Federal Reserve is involved every day and every hour of our market. So it's an ugly event that we see nowadays. All right, and from there we go over to gold. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave. Let's see, where is it at? I'm going to leave the euro up on there. I'm sorry, not the euro, the South African Rand. And we're going to go over to the beta instead and take a look at gold. Let's do that instead, because it's updated. There it is right there. There's gold. You can see gold lifting up again. It's trying to get into the buy. You can see it right there. That was a minus on Friday. And today it's pushing its way through the buy side. And the dot will probably change. And, you can see on the weekly, we've been in a weekly buy since back in here. Let's see if we can show it. Since the 2400-ish area. 2414, 2450. I don't know. You take your choice. Not 40. 41, not 50. Back in here. When's that? The date is... Let's see if I can find that date. Back on the first week of July, right? Yeah, 7. So basically back in here, it went into the weekly buy. Where is that at? The gold was at 2,380. You see that on the screen there. In the last couple days of June, and then you can see in July it was at 2388 with a low of 2375, and you can see where it's at right now at 2559.3. See that right there? And so we've been in that weekly buy since back in here, since the last week of June, first week of July. And so obviously it's going up in value, and the last couple of days it's moving back up again, just as you can see over here on the South African Rand. It is moving down. See that right there? Friday's slammaroo. Is that a Friday or is it third? Yeah, that's Friday. They slammed the root on that thing on Friday, giving it pressure. Let's just show it to you right here. And you see it right there. Climbing up. Tried to get there. It was very close on Friday. You see that right there. Okay. So, so this is really where we're at the moment when it comes to the metals complex. It's starting to lift up. I think we see the same thing in silver too, right here. You see silver jumped in there on Friday. It did jump in there. Now, we talked about this, how silver seems to be falling behind constantly. We can't, it really is, I mean, here we have gold today at all, I think it's at, basically gold is at all-time highs today. This is all-time highs. And, and at the same time, let's just go on that there again, yeah. So the all-time high now is, what is that? 2,562.5. That's the all-time high. Whereas over in silver, the all-time high is in the 50s. It's like 52, 53. Here we are, you see it trading at $30.44. So it's still discounted. Why is it discounted? I say it's the central banks. They're buying gold, selling silver. They do that over and over again. And so it's grudgingly held down. And gold seems to be grudgingly held down too. It's not that abnormal, because, and we've explained this, and then we're running out of time here, but we've explained it. A lot of your mutual funds, the bulk, 90, I don't know, it could be 80, it could be 100%. The bulk of your hedge funds, the bulk of your retirement funds, all have it in their incorporation manifesto that when gold goes to a certain price, they have to liquidate stocks. That's something the central bank and our government have no interest in seeing. They do not want to see stocks go down. That's why we saw the V bottom in 2020. That we knew that it was the central bank knocking it down to get rid of the put funds. And then they turned around within 2 weeks and took that stock market up 33%. And that's the magic that's going on with the central banks constantly. It's a war. It's a war between free speech and the government banks at this point, and across the whole planet, led by the Federal Reserve. So, hang on, traders. Now Bobby Kennedy Jr. has joined the fight, in the sense that he has left his campaign and joined in with Mr. Trump. And that is the answer to it all. So, all right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We'll catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel on Tuesday. So, we've already given you the title. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, Dukascopy friends. We'll catch you on the flip side. Ta-ta for now.